Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to This Week in Bitcoin. Today is March the 30th, 2018. It is Erev Passover. Passover is about to start tonight. Tizen is laughing his butt off already. So already, you should have seen us all before.
Pound that like button. Pound that like button.
This show was already going crazy before we went on the air, and it's basically all because of Tizen. When he comes on, you don't know what the heck is going to happen. I have lost complete track of my whole intro. So strong hand, long-term thinking. This week has been. For some of you, I think you would call it a monstrosity. I mean, you're all into fiat. You're worried about you don't value your wealth in Bitcoin. So what? The price has gone down in terms of dollars. I mean, you guys should be preparing for Passover or Easter. I heard it's Easter on Sunday also. I didn't even know it was Easter on Sunday. Look at me. I'm obviously Jewish. I mean, I don't even know what the heck is going on in the rest of the world. No, but everyone should be, living their life, but you're worried about the fiat. So, okay, Josh. First of all, let me introduce the guest here. Tizen, obviously you know him. Abraham Cambridge he's been on the show before too. He is coming in from K-Town, and he's going to talk a little bit about Lightning Network and his awesome company that you've heard him on here before. But I ran into Abe in South Africa again when I was there, so that was awesome. And introducing, and you probably know him already, Josh Olszewicz. He's coming down from you. He's in DC right now. Boom. And he's in all sorts of Bitcoin antics. So Josh, I'm letting you start off. What the heck is going on in This Week in Bitcoin? What is going on?
Sure. I think it's a lot of converging things. There's no one thing that's led to this moment. In the cards leading up to this, the quarterly. So if you believe in technical analysis or not, if you believe in fundamental analysis or not, there's a lot of different ways to take this. But from what I'm seeing, based on the previous quarters, so every 3 months, whatever it is, we were sort of expected this to be a down quarter, not necessarily just a complete trend reversal. But so there's that in the back of my mind. And then besides that, if you use technical analysis, if you believe in it or not, it's to the point now where price is just breaking down support after support after support. All this is sort of happening in the process of a slow bleed. It's not happening in a capitulatory way, at least currently. It was a few weeks ago. What that means is that bleeding takes longer because it's really slow. It happens day over day. Whereas if people say, all right, I'm done, I'm out, I'm going to sell here, it's people selling the volume, people selling the bottom, getting extremely emotional. You see that in high volume candles all over the chart. We haven't seen that yet. So if anything, to me, that just suggests we're going to keep going down. So there's that. We broke down out of the cloud, broke down from the 200. We're getting this thing called a death cross, which is where a faster EMA and a slower EMA cross in a way that suggests bearish continuation. So it all doesn't look good right now. There's also tax season for Americans, which doesn't end until April 14th. And there's lots of people who are paying taxes on crypto for the first time who don't have money to cover their tax burden other than paying through selling crypto. So we're seeing all these things sort of converge. And I'm still bullish for the quarter. We still could hit 33K by July. So we'll see. That's my take on it.
And that is that's your Twitter handle right now, right? 33K. But all of their links are below. All of these guys, very important links are below. I want everyone to check out all the links that are below. You can see yesterday's show, get a Trezor, I got affiliate links, all sorts of stuff that I always am promoting. All right, Josh, I mean, so you gave people always want to know why this is happening. And I, personally, it doesn't, for me, I'm a long-term thinker. So I know this will pass. And
sure.
I'm only trying to get more Bitcoin. So you share people because you are a technical analysis type of guy, but I mean, you're also a guy that wants Bitcoin to do what you want it to. You think it could be 33K in this summer, which is, I'm not saying that, but you hope. So, I mean, what are your long-term, what do you think everyone should be? Are you saying stay calm?
Give me some financial advice.
Yeah, no, not that, but not just say,
Yes,
I like how you said there's a lot of emotion out there, because that's what I see. I don't see people thinking at all. And like, why are they into Bitcoin? And do they know about the 2020 Bitcoin halving? I mean, tell us your theories here, or your strategies. I don't know.
Yeah, so there's a few other things to think about. So leading up to how we got to where we got to 20,000, you have to think about the market participants. These aren't necessarily, at least in my opinion, the new people aren't necessarily, long-term holders. They're here because they heard about it on wherever. That's not like diminishing the new entrants or anything, but I'm just saying, like, these are a different type of breed than the people who have been here since 2013, 2014, 2015. People who understand that, at least in my opinion, the fundamentals for Bitcoin have never been stronger, with things like Lightning Network scaling sort of being settled. The Bitcoin Cash divorce happened. All those sorts of things have been sorted out, and we're sort of moving on, which has been sorely needed. So there's that. And the other thing you have to think about is time horizons. So, people like me or other people who are quote unquote holders aren't necessarily super concerned with the intraday movements. Like, yes, I'll trade the chart in front of me, but I'm also, based on the fundamentals, super bullish going forward X amount of months, years, whatever. So yeah, you mentioned the 2020 halving. I'm looking at all the people with new accounts on Coinbase. I'm looking at all the new accounts on Binance, all these other places that have fiat gateways. The Circle Invest thing is another fiat gateway. The Cash app, which if you haven't used it for Square, is amazing. If you're in America, KYC AML for that takes literally seconds, and you can onboard and buy Bitcoin. Boom. So all those sorts of things, even altcoins. You can't be ultra bearish on some of these altcoins, but that's more of a blanket statement. I mean, I'm mainly bearish on alts and ICOs in general, but yeah, you just have to keep in mind, what's your time horizon? Don't trade money you can't afford to lose. Don't be over leveraged in situations where volatility is high like it is now, and you don't know where things are going. Obviously, we've been just bleeding down, but I see too many people trading way too much on like 25 to 50x leverage and just getting wrecked, and then that's it,
Yeah, I have one last question before we move on to Ty here, because I know he's going to have things to say.
Yeah.
Are you a Bitcoin maximalist? Is that basically what your portfolio? Is that what you hold? Is that your savings account, or do you hold anything else?
Yeah, I hold a few other things, but I'm definitely 80% plus into Bitcoin.
Okay. You believe it is the winner. It's going to be the one over time.
For the moment, yeah. I mean, we were talking a little bit earlier about proof of work, proof of stake versus Ethereum, and that scares the crap out of me as an Ethereum holder.
Yeah, and we're talking. That's a foreshadow to another topic that we're getting to. We are going to talk about that. People, pound that like button if you like foreshadows. All right, Zen, I'm just going to let you say whatever you want to say. Just say whatever you want to say. Josh just said some stuff. You can comment on that. You can comment on any situation. Take it away. Say anything you want to say. Just don't curse.
No, I just want to reassure everyone that's in the cryptocurrency space that the market's crashing. There's blood in the streets, and it's unfortunate that a lot of the people that got into cryptocurrency in the last few months, like towards the end of last year, beginning of this year, and they had high hopes that it was going to go up. And just want to echo what Josh just said, and you just said, Bitcoin Meister, is that a lot of people are getting into this space and not understanding the fundamentals of what blockchain and cryptocurrencies are. Whether you are a Bitcoin maximalist like Josh, or a cryptocurrency maximalist like myself, regardless of which camp that you're in, or which approach that you take, or which philosophy that you believe in, it's important to understand the value of cryptocurrencies, right? And I just want to quickly remind everyone the value of the blockchain is that it's a distributed ledger that allows people to make financial transactions without the need for a middleman. And it doesn't require permission from anyone. Anyone can come into the network, anyone can leave the network without permission, and there's nobody at the gates. I'll give you an example. Recently, I had our company had all our credit card transactions withdrawn out of our bank account by the bank, because they realized that we were a cryptocurrency business, and they wanted to investigate it to make sure that everything was okay, even though We sell education and training programs. We don't invest anyone's money on our in our business. The fact that the name of our company is Cryptocurrency Market, they realized in the risk department that, hey, this is a risk here because it's cryptocurrency based, and they never took the time to learn what we were doing or anything, and they just froze all our bank accounts, and took all the money out. And when I say froze it, they froze the portion that was in the credit card sales, right? And we were very fortunate that the bulk of our sales comes from, and the bulk of our business comes from cryptocurrency payments. We always prefer to accept cryptocurrency payments over credit card payments anytime. Matter of fact, we will accept Dogecoin over the US dollar or the pound or the euro any day, because we know that, no one can ever take that from us once we receive it. And, we have a refund policy that if customers are not happy, we'll be gladly to refund them. But that's on our terms and our business terms, and not on the bank just coming in and just freezing our accounts whenever they want to. And so this is the value behind cryptocurrencies. And the technology that's in cryptocurrencies today, whether it's in Bitcoin or in any cryptocurrency, the 1,500 cryptocurrencies that we have out there, it's getting better and better each day. So there are a lot of people that are panic selling, a lot of amateurs that don't know how to trade and should not be trading. If you're not a trader, if you've not been properly trained how to do technical analysis, how to manage risk, how to size your bets correctly, how to take profits when you're going up, and how to reduce your risk when it's going down and things like that, you should not be trading. You should take the approach that Bitcoin Meister here is taking, and you golden hold, you pound that like button, and you wait till 2020 to the next halving when the supply has been reduced and the value of it goes up. That's what you should be doing. If you're not a professional trader like the guys on our team, you should not be trading.
I think, Tony, another thing that you hit on at the beginning is that, well, you've lived through a down market before. We all of us in this panel have lived through a down market before, and it seems like there are a lot of people out there that have no clue about what a down market is, and it's just they're going haywire now.
Exactly. Well, my suggestion to all your listeners and all the people that are new to your channel, right? I would recommend that you guys go look at, before you guys listen to the YouTuber or anyone that's on the internet that sounds like they know what they're talking about, right? There's a couple of things that I would suggest that you follow, right? The people that you should follow are the people who have lived through bear and bull markets in this crypto space, right? If you go back and look at all the old videos on Bitcoin Meister's channel, he was talking about Bitcoins 2-3 years ago. He wasn't just a newcomer who just bought his Bitcoins last week or last month or in the last 6 months. You go to, Omar's channel, you go to Cryptoverse's channel, you go to a lot of these channels, where people have been talking about Bitcoins back 2 or 3 years ago before it was popular, when it was still only $400 or $500. Those are the people that really understand the value of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and those are the ones that I would pay attention to. I just found out about Josh's channel. That's why I didn't mention his channel. But you can look at his channel too.
That's okay.
So many new channels are popping up. I don't know. Now, all these new channels that just popped up in the last 6 months, there's no way that they could possibly have lived through a bull and bear market, and they're not traders. They're talking about ICOs that are paying them to talk about them. I mean, it's in some of the, but now we're veering off a little bit here. But what I want your viewers to know is that when you see these huge returns, when a product or a tradable product goes from 1,000 to 20,000 in the period of a few months, you have to be aware that this is normal in trading for it to crash back down 60, 70, 80, 90%. This is normal. Nothing goes up that fast without pulling back that fast, okay?
And we all went through this in the year 2014. Yeah. My first video was in 2013, by the way, for if anyone wants to check back. But I mean, all the guys on here, what do we have? Strong freaking hands.
Yeah.
That's what we had. I mean,
if you are not a trained trader and you're not an educated trader that knows how to manage risk and knows how to profit from the markets, the best thing that I would, if I was not a trader and I haven't been trained to trade properly, then I would just golden hold, maintain a strong hand, right, and stick with the top cryptocurrencies that have a big community behind it, like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, and things like that. I would not go after like the really smaller market cap ones where you're not sure of.
Yeah. And now another thing that Ty said, or he implied, tune out the crypto noise. There's a lot of noise out there. A lot of people saying things that is just there to scare you because they probably want your Bitcoin and they want you to panic and they think it's going to help them, although it probably won't help them. But yeah, just be careful. And I want to real quick, Vention MGTOW sent $10 in the super chat. Thank you, Vention MGTOW. I don't know if you're still paying attention. But Sandman mentioned you in a video recently. You should watch one of Sandman's videos, Vention. That's a message for you since you sent a message to me. He wanted to hear about Lightning Network. And now Abraham is going to actually talk about, well, first of all, Abe, I'll let you say if there's anything you want to say about the current, Bitcoin situation before you talk about what you're doing with Lightning Network.
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to expand on what Ty's just said. I mean, yes, I am completely in agreement. We're all in agreement that Bitcoin is a radical transformation of our financial system. It's a completely new financial world we're dealing with here, and it is going to change the future. But it is only half of the story. And whilst we're relying on centralized energy sources like fossil fuels, nuclear power stations, we're still living in the 20th century. Okay, so that's the why of what we're doing at Sun Exchange. Now, what Sun Exchange has been built for is to be this crossover point between cryptocurrency and solar energy systems. And solar energy systems being decentralized, democratic forms of energy access. And we built this, we've been building it since 2014. We were the first company in the world to be financing solar power plants through cryptocurrency. And what we found is that people are now buying solar panels through our website using fiat, and then they are choosing Bitcoin as the optional rental income they receive through buying solar assets. And I'd say about half our customers buy using cryptocurrency and half spend in fiat. But of the people that spend in fiat, 75% of them request to be paid in Bitcoin. So that just shows you that there's a demand for this. And the people who have not yet got into Bitcoins, they think, have they missed the boat? Is it too confusing using marketplaces like Bittrex, which can actually look quite intimidating for the uninitiated? Sun Exchange is designed to be really user-friendly, just to buy a solar panel and earn Bitcoin from it for 20 years. And that's what our customers do. So that's really what we're dealing with. And so the Bitcoin price recently has actually, we've witnessed it as a business because people spend Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies on buying solar assets through our platform. So when we're running a crowd sale for a solar project, as the Bitcoin price falls, we're actually sold less of the assets with one of our projects. So it's quite frustrating to see the progress bar moving backwards in our projects. But it will go back the other way again soon. And at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. And these projects are going to last 20 years. So a few weeks of turbulence in the Bitcoin market really doesn't perturb us in any way. We still understand this is the future. Yeah, so that's the background.
Oh, but just basically, before you get into the Lightning Network thing, I want to. So people are almost using. Some people are using your this solar panel thing as an exchange almost to buy Bitcoin. Yeah,
we're like the gateway into crypto for a lot of people. And I just received an email from a guy who's one of our long-standing customers. He basically thanked me for getting him into cryptocurrency. He got his first Bitcoin through using Sun Exchange. And now he's completely involved in the scene now because he used Sun Exchange. It's like we are this sort of friendly front end to get into and start understand how wallets work and transferring, and we guide people through the process. We're a human focused business whilst making a social impact in Africa.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting that you've become, because as you said, people can give you fiat and get paid in Bitcoin, which is cool. Yeah. So people are in effect buying Bitcoin through your solar panels, and it's just you're exactly. A gateway.
They're like half invested in Bitcoin, but actually they're investing in solar, but they're getting paid in Bitcoin. So it's like for them, it's a perceivably much lower risk way of getting into Bitcoin without having to undergo the stress of seeing the price volatility.
Yes, this is a very unique gateway. Well, explain to everyone what you're doing with the Lightning Network, what you were telling me in South Africa.
Yeah, so the next step of what we've done, so we're about to build our 5th solar power plant through crypto, and that's great. And we've got customers in 70 countries around the world who are receiving Bitcoin payments on a regular basis for their rental income. But we've always seen how can we actually improve this and make it better? How do we make it so the payments from our solar power plants can reach our customers in real time? So every time a kilowatt hour of electricity is generated, how can we transfer that value back to the owner? And that was fine maybe a year ago when the transaction fees were very low and when the demand for Bitcoin was less than it is now. But in order to provide that real, like almost streaming monetized sunshine, we need to send payments in real time, and that's what Lightning enables to do. So I will point you to our white paper. So go to our website, sunexchange.com. There's a token sale link at the top. Download the white paper. It's all laid out in black and white how this is in our technological roadmap. So Lightning networks allow us to stream money in real time from our solar power plants in South Africa to the owners where they are in the world. And we can host the wallets in the interim to make sure the wallets are always online. So, I mean, that's a real world use case. And we often with Lightning, people always talk about the bar tab scenario. You go into a bar, you open the bar tab, and the Lightning ledger opens, and then when the transaction is closed, that's the transaction done, and you walk out the bar. But that's all well and good, but that's just a bar tab. We're talking about transmitting solar energy revenue every single day, only during daylight hours, because of course at nighttime there's no money to transmit. So we just need to have a transaction open for 12 hours on average each day, and we can then have practically infinite transactions being done in the meantime. So that's our use case.
So, and have you already started these real-time transactions with the Lightning Network?
No, it's on our roadmap. So
okay.
I mean, we're working on it. Obviously, it's still early days with it, but I'm just giving you insight into how we're going to utilize it to enhance the experience. So how people who are new into Bitcoin and are concerned about why are we sending payments with very large transaction fees? This should be almost a transactionless situation. Well, actually, this is the how to achieve that. This is how to achieve seamless payments, global payments, with very, very low or minimal or zero transaction fees.
This is awesome. That it is really it's adding a lot to your business. This will be adding
it connects people directly. I mean, I've always thought sending payments once a month for rental is so last century, isn't it? I mean, that's why it's called a month. Like every lunar cycle, you send a payment out because it takes a lot of time to do the paperwork, and we're still doing it today, which is just insane. So Lightning enables us to just send payments out as when they're generated, and this is what it was built for. And that's. But I've one interesting story actually that we were interviewed on CNBC a couple of days ago talking about how we're using Bitcoin for solar powering Africa. They gave us 6 minutes. The guy, the interviewer on the TV show was great. And then the CNBC posted the video, and I posted on Facebook and tried boosting it, and Facebook blocked me from boosting CNBC's advert because it had Bitcoin in the title. Huh. And I'm like, so this is one topic I didn't think we'd get into, but I just want to raise it. And that's that all this hysteria about banning anything to do with cryptocurrency on Twitter and on Facebook, it's just bonkers. And like this is CNBC, like they put us on television, but Facebook won't let us boost our the feature, but yet Facebook are willing to take money to sway an election, but aren't willing to have us boost a short post to tell how we're using Bitcoin for good. I just thought that was an interesting observation to bring up on this show.
Yeah, that's quite a ban on their part. It's not a very it's obviously not a human that's doing it. It's just they have an automatic thing, I guess, that sees Bitcoin and they block you.
They've got a strong block. I mean, we're still advertising our projects, but this wasn't even an advert. This was just us reposting CNBC's own news post, and it wouldn't let us boost it.
Hey, by the way, I like how you said that monthly payments are like so last century. That's this is how instant payments, real-time payments, and this is what the Lightning Network is going to enable you to do.
Yeah. I mean, who wants to wait for anything? If I own a solar panel and I'm earning money from it, I want my payments the moment they're generated. Why should I have to wait? And that's what our customers are going to enjoy.
Well, that's the way the world is today. People are not very patient. I will tell you that. Hey, by the way, in the super chat, Ken Bozak is over there. He sent $4.20. He likes that number, 420, for some reason. Ken and 420, they go together. Thank you, Ken. All right, panel, do you have any questions for Abraham Cambridge there? Or does anybody even, I'll look in the chat real quick if anybody has questions for him too, because he's definitely doing something really unique. And again, links are below if you want to check out Sun Exchange and Abe and all that awesome stuff.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. So, I feel like the whole M-Pesa thing in South Africa has really paved the way for projects like Abe's to blossom and bloom because, for the most part, Americans are very U.S. centric. We don't understand the complexities of, you know, the monetary policies and systems of other countries, but elsewhere, even with technology, like Africa, they benefit highly from just alternative forms of currency or transactional avenues.
And it's not, and as I said in my initial point, it's not just about the money either. It's about the energy. So there's a huge portion of the population in Africa that does not have access to financial services, but they have mobile phones. And there's a huge portion that don't have access to energy, but they have roof space on which you can put solar panels. Ty, I can see you're planning to say something.
Yeah. Hey, Abe. Tone Vase is on the comments, and he asked a pretty interesting question here. He asked, why does your project need a token for the solar power?
Yeah, the token can be staked into an insurance fund. So we found a use case for staking that was actually useful. So people can stake the SunX token in a solar project insurance fund, so we can insure our solar projects against fire, theft, damage. And then people who are staking the token can earn a 20% income in SunX as long as they hold the token there. It's also our rewards program. So as people use Sun Exchange, they can get discounts and bonuses when using the platform. And it's also gamified. So as people accumulate SunX, they level up their account. But because it's our own token, we've got complete control over its supply. So we can issue it without having to purchase an additional currency to reward our customers. But it's issued in parallel to Bitcoin. So people can then be earning SunX to stake in insurance funds and our insurance fund, and also be earning their Bitcoin income stream. And also SolarCoin. We're an affiliate of the SolarCoin Foundation, and people can actually spend SolarCoin on our projects and then earn SolarCoin and Bitcoin and SunX through our platform. So we've become like an integrating hub of crypto and solar.
Okay, because this sounds interesting because, I used to work at an energy brokerage firm, right? That's how the energy brokerage firm that I used to work at did a lot of mining in Bitcoin, and that's how I learned about Bitcoin,
Okay.
Now, in the energy business, there's extremely thin profit margins, like extremely, like the volume of electricity that you have to sell to make a profit is massive. Like it's not like
that's why we're not dealing with the energy, Ty. We deal with the actual infrastructure. Our customers build the solar panel infrastructure, including the cables. We don't trade in the energy. We're leaving the energy trading to like the power ledgers and the WePowers and those guys. They're just dealing with energy. And actually, those kind of projects are still years away because the regulations aren't there yet for those projects to actually be commercially viable. Sun Exchange is already commercially viable because we just deal with building solar power plants and actually owning the infrastructure. So, and we have a 10% margin on our solar plants, and that's how we make our money.
Okay, so that's what I'm getting to is that if you have a 10% margin, which is, in my opinion, extremely high for the energy business, because that's a very efficient industry where it's not like it's a new industry, so the profit margins are extremely low. And so how are you getting like a 10% profit margin on building the energy infrastructure and then it's 20% on the tokens?
No, we make a 10% margin through selling the solar power plant. So we're a marketplace. We sell, or actually pre-sell, a solar power plant and the solar panels within it to our members. They buy the solar panels. If you've got, say, $1 million solar power plant, we'll make $100,000 profit on that, and then the solar power plant will get constructed. Now, the energy, once it's being generated, the value of that energy goes back to the solar panel owners that purchase the solar panels up front. So actually, the energy is nothing to do with us. We're just the marketplace. We're just like the payment rails between the two. We're the facilitator. We're the agent.
Okay.
That's why we're called that's why we're the Sun Exchange. Like we exchange the sunlight from the solar panels to the owners, and we're just the infrastructure to do it. We get Airbnb for solar panels. It is our business.
Okay.
All right, coolness. I wanted to say real quick that it was awesome. The Tone was in the chat. When Ty says Tone is asking a question, at first I was like, is there a fake Tone Vase or is it the real? It was the real Tone Vase. It was. I made sure. And Rafterman, thanks for the $2 super chat. And everybody, pound that like button. You don't know what's coming next. Josh, was there something else you were about to say to Abe, by the way, too? I thought you weren't complete in your when you were talking about Africa and everything.
I mean, there's two other things. Lightning Network is just going to be so huge for anything. Like, I'm skeptical of Abe's stuff just because I'm anti-ICO, and that kind of like shrouds it for me a little bit. But I highly believe.
Well, it's not an ICO because I mean our business already exists. I mean ICOs are people raising money to create a concept into something that then becomes a company. This is just we're creating a rewards program and we're pre-selling the rewards tokens if people wish to buy them. But the actual Sonex token is going to be issued through our platform forevermore. You know, it's not really an ICO. And Ty, the comment on energy usage on Bitcoin mining, that's something that's really important to us because we're very aware of the energy demands on Bitcoin mining. But actually, it's not actually a concern for us because we believe that we can solar power the Bitcoin mining industry and therefore reduce its cost. I mean, solar power now is actually the cheapest form of energy on Earth when you put solar power plants in effective locations. They've just announced the 200 gigawatt solar power plant in Saudi Arabia now. And so Bitcoin mining, once it's solar powered, is going to be a silicon-based economy at that point.
Yeah, so I used to work as a trader at an energy brokerage firm, you know, and so I do understand the energy sales and the process there. And so I do want to, you know, share with Adam's audience here that when you say that, you know, the solar is the cheapest form of electricity, that depends upon what part of the world that you're in.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you're in the U.S., if you're in the northern part of the U.S., coal is still cheaper.
Yeah, well,
okay?
that's why I'm.
If you're in the South, where I'm from, in Texas, natural gas is cheaper.
That's my point, Ty. So when you put a solar power plant in a place that's most effective, that we enable people around the world to own solar panels in those most effective places. So we're doing projects in the Middle East, we're doing projects in Dubai. We're going to be getting down to around 2 US cents per kilowatt hour from large-scale solar power plants there. And that's unbeatable. I mean, and also the plants can be built in a matter of weeks. To build a thermal power station, you're going to take, what, 5-10 years plus environmental permits to get that built, and then getting pipelines in to fuel that thing. Solar power is on-site, passive, solid-state technology.
Okay, so if you can get solar power down, you know, the reason why I'm asking these questions is because, you know, I'm familiar with the energy prices because I used to work at an energy brokerage firm. Okay, if you're saying that you can get energy down to 2 cents a kilowatt hour, right? That's almost like free energy. If you're able to get down that, I mean,
welcome to the future, Ty.
No. Hold on. It's not welcome to the future because that's very hard to believe, you know, because if you can get power down to 2 cents, like, you know, Jihan Wu and all these Bitcoin miners would have been all over you because the
projects in Saudi Arabia that have just been commissioned. These aren't even our solar projects. We're not saying that this is something that we're inventing. There are solar power plants in Saudi Arabia that have been signed on at 2 US cents. And projects in Mexico also at 2 US cents a kilowatt hour. And this is because there's no fuel. It's just upfront capital with no running costs, and that's why the people investing in these things know that once you've covered the capital infrastructure, no running costs, it's all profit from there.
Well, I'm just going to say to the Bitcoin miners audience that, you know, my limited understanding, okay, of Bitcoin mining and just crypto mining in general. It's usually around, I think the goal is to try to, you know, you're not profitable unless the energy is like 4 or 5 cents per kilowatt hour in the US. And these are like some of the biggest miners in the US, okay? And so for you to say that there's electricity that's 2 cents per kilowatt, you know, that's extremely like, I mean, the miners, if there was 2 cent power, they'd be there.
Well,
you know, they would be there. You wouldn't. They would buy.
They should go there. Go to Saudi Arabia. Come to the north of South Africa. Build a big solar power plant and solar power your Bitcoin mine, and then you'll have 2 cents a kilowatt hour or less electricity.
Okay.
But this is like if you cite statistics from 2 years ago about price of solar power, you're way out of date. Okay. This is exponential growth technology. The prices are exponential. This is just how technology works. Right now,
I'm just sharing the limited.
I'm really pleased to have been the person to have informed you of good news.
Yeah. So whatchamacallit, there's a bunch of people asking about Bitcoin private. If you don't mind me.
Wait, hang on. But before we get there, hang on, because I have that written down.
Okay, my bad.
We're gonna everyone. We're gonna cover the Ethereum Classic thing. We are gonna talk about P private also, but one real quick thing here. Rafterman sent me $2 in the super chat. Thank you very much. He said, I've accumulated only 0.178 Bitcoin in the last 2 months. Am I too slow or too late? Heck no, you're not too late. I just wanted to say that. You're not too late, people. Take your time. The first goal is to get 1 Bitcoin. You can do it as slow as you want to do it. Okay, back to Josh, because Josh, people keep on interrupting Josh because he was about to say something about the Lightning Network. Okay, continue, Josh.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it's great that the rails of Lightning Network have enabled things like these micropayment transactions that we've always talked about for a long time. And then lastly, I'll just say about South Africa. I shared a link in the Google Hangout chat that there's this great talk about South African energy and just alternative energy in general, and how actually the wind energy in South Africa, Abe, you can say whether or not you agree or disagree, but wind energy is going to be huge in South Africa to the point where it's just like nominally cheap.
Wind energy is really cool, but it's very, very fussy where you can place your wind turbines. You have to have actually very, very clever engineers, aerodynamics engineers, to be positioned where a wind turbine is located. The great thing about solar panels is you can put them anywhere you want. You can put them on your roof. You can stick them on the roof of your car if you're really that interested in it. You can put them out in the desert. It's just that's the beauty of solar power. It's completely scalable, and obviously, and also the thing with wind turbines, the bigger they are, the more effective. But a solar panel is a solar panel, and you just have more of them. Become
I'm not trying to undermine solar. I'm just saying, like, I was surprised that South Africa had like some of the best winds for wind energy that was being presented.
South Africa's got some of the best wind in the world and some of the best solar in the world, and this why this country is going renewable bit by bit. Obviously, there's still a big coal industry, but you know what, the private sector is going solar.
One last thing real quick. There's actually a problem with like basically free energy and Bitcoin mining, because it comes to a point where Bitcoin needs, at least proof of work needs, a scarce resource. So if everything costs zero, then there are issues that Andreas and others have described and talked about with proof of work. But anyway, go ahead.
I just put a link to Ty's with evidence of the 2-cent bids for a 300 megawatt plant in Saudi.
Yeah, you guys are putting that in my in our chat that only the 3 of us see.
Well, I can't put it in. I can't put it in the YouTube chat.
I'll share these links. The links they're sharing with me now, guys, I'm going to link to below the video. So once this video is live, you'll be able to see what these guys are talking about with these secret links that they're posting here. Now, I do want to say one thing here. We've got a great debate going here. I mean, people are questioning Abe, and Tone is even still in the chat, and he's like, Ty, I like the skepticism. And of course, Tone loves this, kind of, people questioning and, seeing what's a scam and what's not a scam or whatever. But let me tell you something, everyone. I do want to say one thing about Abe. I met Abe in South Africa in 2015. I have stayed in touch with him since then. I saw him again in 2018. And this dude lives this stuff. He lives this freaking stuff. This guy hasn't gone away or disappeared. He had this dream for this project back in 2015, and he was in motion, and he has made this a reality. I mean, and he is an early cryptocurrency pioneer here, like trying to do something with your cryptocurrency. And that's not something that I recommend you do either. But this guy is smart, and he believes, and he knows a lot about power. And I just want to, vouch for the guy.
Adam. Yeah, thank you for that. And I started this project in 2014 when I first moved to South Africa. And I realized that there's no solar panels on the roof, despite there being amazing conditions. And the reason why is lack of access to funding. And the reason why that exists is because it's very hard to get money into and out of South Africa. Lo and behold, Bitcoin is right here. You think, wow, let's just link up solar panels with Bitcoin. And then all of a sudden, you've got this global access to putting solar panels in the best locations on Earth for them. And that's what Sun Exchange was set up to do and is doing.
Yeah, and again, if you ever meet Abe in person, let me tell you something. You can ask him anything, and he will give you an answer. He lives this stuff. So if you're in South Africa, run into Abe. You never know. Or you might
come and meet me.
And by the way, Abe, what's the next? You go to conferences around the world too. Are you going to one anytime soon?
Yeah, there's Event Horizon in Berlin, which is very much focused around the energy sector and blockchain. So we're pitching there. We're doing our own party here in Cape Town, actually, on the 22nd of April for Celebrate Earth Day. and the launch of SunX. We're doing a party down on Clifton Third Beach in Cape Town. We've got Africa's biggest inflatable cinema screen, and we're showing some movies and just having a good time. So come down to that, and it's just before Africa Burn, where we'll be setting up solar off-grid systems for all the campers there, running dirty generators. Come find us, and we'll help you get solar powered in your camps.
Dude, man, this dude's all solar. Pound that like button if you like being in motion and, you know, taking your dream and making it into reality and just living the life. So, okay, now we're going to move on from this, unless you we'll have a conclusionary session at the end if anyone wants to have follow-ups with Abe. But let's move on to the Ethereum and proof of work, proof of stake, the rumors about Ethereum Classic pumping, and Barry Silbert saying all these good things about it, and Rocket Man Woo creating more mining for Ethereum, even though Ethereum is going to go proof of stake apparently. So Josh, what's your opinion on all this stuff? You said you're worried about Ethereum.
Well, look, if I'm an Ethereum believer and holder, and I'm looking at the proof of work, proof of stake transition, where that hasn't occurred as of yet anywhere else that I'm aware of. So there's that. There's also the fact that proof of stake, look at the coins that have proof of stake, look at their transaction volume, look at anything, any fundamentals about proof of stake coins, to me, are just complete trash. So I'd be very concerned if I was like a true believer in Ethereum. That proof of stake is going to be the messiah, or the whatever, the end all be all of everything, that it's just going to work out, everything's going to be fine. Like, I know it has a lot of research and development yet to go with it, but the fact that they're really basically, the train is already in motion and it's going to happen is concerning for me. Which is one reason why I like this thing called R-Chain, which is like the Casper FFG, I think, Vlad's like experiment basically, but that's a separate topic.
Do you have any thoughts on Ethereum Classic? Because they're staying, the way they are. They're staying proof of work. Right.
So there are coins that I don't believe in, like I believe in Bitcoin, but I still hold and trade. So Ethereum and Ethereum Classic are two examples of that. So I don't believe that ETC is going to have like this giant long-term future. Charles Hoskinson and Cardano and Barry Silbert, like there's all these nebulous people that are surrounding all these projects, obviously. But ETC acts as an insurance policy against ETH as far as the proof of work, proof of stake thing, because as far as I know, ETC is never going to go to proof of stake. But the other thing is this whole ASIC mining stuff is just exploding, so that Jian Wu is so open to everybody changing the protocols to try to get rid of his ASICs, because then he can just control the coin, which is what's going to happen with Monero. There's going to be a Monero Classic, and all the miners are going to mine it. It's not going to just go away. That's why they're shopping around for developers for things like Monero Classic.
Monero Classic?
If it's going to be Monero V, Monero Classic, whatever the name is going to be, like the point is, all these miners aren't just going to be bricked. Okay, it's going to mine something. And what we saw with Ethereum Classic, as long as there's miners, as long as there's an exchange that's going to support this stuff, there's going to be speculation, and it's like Bitcoin Cash. I mean, it's just a complete failure of a project, in my opinion. But it's still around this long,
Yeah. Okay, so Ty, you've got stuff to say about this Ethereum Classic.
I have
different miners, etc.
I'm not. It sounds like to me that Josh is a Bitcoin maximalist, so he supports the Bitcoin maximalist. Is that true, Josh?
Yeah, I'm definitely. The thing is, look, I'm open and to anything that's willing to give some sort of pressure to develop. Okay, so
yeah,
Ethereum.
Okay, so,
go ahead.
So I just want the Bitcoin Meister's audience to know that I'm the complete opposite. I am no longer a Bitcoin maximalist. I retired my Bitcoin maximalism card a few years ago, and I am a cryptocurrency maximalist. And I believe that may the best project win, or may the best project succeed. And so I look at things differently. Ethereum Classic, I don't favor Ethereum Classic over Ethereum or either one. Really don't care. I'm here to make money in crypto. So I really don't care which one succeeds as long as it makes me money. And so when you're trying to make money from the cryptocurrency market, you got to look at it from a neutral perspective, and you can't be biased. Originally, when I was biased towards Bitcoin, I made some okay money, but I didn't make a lot of money until I let go of that bias and just look at the markets just for what it is and become neutral about it, you know? So my perspective is that, you know, these guys are manufacturing ASICs chips, you know? I researched, when I was working at the energy brokerage firm, one of my roles was to research how much it costs to manufacture ASICs chips. And the total upfront cost to manufacture ASICs chips, right, is around $2 million. Okay, for the research, for the prototypes and things like that. And we were going to try to get a company to manufacture some Bitcoin ASICs chips for us back in 2012, 2013. But that $2 million price tag was massive at that time, and we did not follow through with it. But the ASICs representative that we spoke to, that we were negotiating with to sell us and manufacture and design the ASICs chips for us, he told us that it was not going to be worth it for us. We just need to take that $2 million and go buy some Bitcoins instead, which was a very good advice that he gave us, instead of using that money towards manufacturing ASICs chips. So my point in saying that is just to give the audience an idea of how much it costs to even get some ASICs chips designed and manufactured for you, okay? So that's kind of like 2012 prices. So if these people are looking to manufacture ASICs chips to mine Ethereum or Ethereum Classic or whatever it is, you know, to me, it makes no difference, because I'm in it to make money. And if it doesn't turn out the way that I anticipated, you know, I have a game plan on what I'm going to do if it doesn't work out. And if it does work out, you know, we were the first YouTube channel to make the call on buying Ethereum Classic back when it was just $1. Within like 48 hours after it hard forked from Ethereum, we made the call to get into it because we thought it was a good investment. And, you know, the people that got in at that time made massive gains on it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so we don't have a bias towards any of these coins. You know, some people say that, hey,
what does that have to do with maximalism? Like, who cares that you made it? Like,
well,
I can separate trading from being like a holder, which is what I'm saying.
I think that,
you know?
No, the reason why I'm sharing that with the Meister's audience is that we have a lot of Bitcoin maximalists that call everything trash or call everything a scam, you know, and I think that's misinforming the audience and the viewers in the space. You know, not everything, you know, whenever a scam means that something is illegal, there was fraudulent behavior, right? Somebody's money got stolen or somebody's money got robbed, you know, and just calling, you know, just any project that you don't like a scam, to me, is a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah,
you know, that's not being, you're not being upfront with your viewers. Like,
I know. No one called it a scam here though today. So that's
no. I'm not saying that, you know, someone's calling Ethereum Classic or Ethereum a scam, but, you know, I remember when we first, you know, we were the first channel to tell people to invest into Ethereum back after we interviewed Vitalik, you know, back in 2014. People were calling it a scam back then. You know, everything gets called a scam in crypto, and nobody ever defines what it is that the scam is.
I agree. We have had shows recently where we've just straight up said that word scam is abused. Yeah. But we're veering off the topic here, which was if Ethereum changes to proof of stake, is Ethereum Classic going to the moon? Is this gonna are a lot of projects going to move to Ethereum Classic?
Yeah,
sure.
Sorry,
Abraham. Yes.
Yeah, I was just going to say that our team and I have had this exact discussion over the last few weeks, to the point where we are proposing to put SunX in parallel on both ETC and ETH as an insurance policy against ETH failing. Because if the miners abandon Ethereum as it switches to proof of stake, then all the contracts being maintained on there are going to be undisturbed, and they could be prone to attack. ETC, on the other hand, is going to stay on proof of work, and therefore all the SunX tokens on there are going to be secure. Now, we would put it on Rootstock because we're a believer in the Rootstock project. It just doesn't seem to be something that we can actually utilize at this moment. It still doesn't seem to be ready, unfortunately. So, I mean, there are options, as you're right, Ty. There are various options, and you know, may the best technology win. And I believe that ETC is a great insurance policy.
No, listen. So what you just said, you were worried about your tokens functioning correctly, basically. Yeah. If Ethereum, and so any other logical business that's not a scam, that's not one of those ICOs that just issued just to make some money, they're going to worry about, are my tokens going to work if we're going to have this change on Ethereum? So there are a lot of people thinking this right now in the space. If Abe is thinking this, then there are other people who are concerned, and that term insurance policy and Ethereum Classic are going to go very well together. And I don't see how Ethereum can risk what they have built on them to do this. I mean, this
they also had they just did the Callisto project, which is the auditing program. So people writing smart contracts on Ethereum Classic can get their tokens audited using the Callisto group, and they've created their own token for it as well. But I thought that's just an interesting. They are gearing themselves up for this. I mean, they're teaming up.
So hey, I just want to add to clarify something here, Adam. You said that just because somebody is a scam for raising money, I don't see how somebody using cryptocurrencies to raise money makes it a scam.
No, an ICO, you can make up a fake business. You say, I've got this business, send me tokens, and they don't have a business at all. That's a scam.
So
that's what I'm talking about.
If an ICO does, if somebody does an ICO to raise money, and it's a security token, and they don't register with the government or something like that, and they get in trouble, they're just breaking the law. If somebody says that, hey, I'm going to raise money and I'm going to build this software, and then they go to build it and it sucks, and the software doesn't work, it sucks, right? That doesn't make it a scam. It just
I didn't say that, but I just said you can't deny that in the ICO space right now, there are people coming from all sorts of Eastern European countries contacting me every day saying they've got these projects that don't exist, and they're just raising money to steal from people. That's a scam. I mean, I don't know. We're kind of veering off on topic. I was just saying that anyone who is not into that part of the ICO movement, because there's a huge chunk of ICOs that are just about ripping people off. This can't be denied. But for those who aren't into that, they're going to care if their token is working properly, and they're going to be worried about Ethereum switching over to proof of stake. That's my point.
I think that when it switches over to proof of stake, the miners are going to go use their the hardware that they have recently purchased or they already own, and put it to work on Ethereum Classic. Why wouldn't they?
That's what a lot of people are saying.
They will do, but the risk is they abandon it just before the switch to stake. So during their maybe like a day where they quickly turn off their miners to mine on another chain, then the Ethereum network is massively underpowered and prone to a 51% attack.
Yeah, and that's part of the switchover, and that's part of the and that's going in. If you look to invest or buy Ethereum or Ethereum Classic, that's the risk. That's part of the risk that you take. And I think that the market
Ethereum Classic isn't going to switch. There's no risk of that happening with Ethereum Classic because it's not switching.
Yeah, because I think that the market is going to price that in. It's already been priced into the price of the each crypto that's going to happen, and there's going to be latecomers that's going to buy it or sell it, and there's going to be a temporary volatility in that price. But after it settles down, everyone knows that that's coming, so it's not like new.
So wait, Ty, you're saying that in the ETC price it's already priced in. You're saying
all this stuff is already priced in, because that's not like hidden information. Everybody knows that for years now that they're working.
I don't know about everybody, but the ETC could become Ethereum. That ETC could become the main Ethereum. That's a huge upside right there. There's a huge upside. I don't know if that's priced in yet, but maybe. No. Continue. Sorry, continue.
But how can it be priced into Ethereum Classic because Ethereum Classic isn't switching?
Because the money made in crypto investing or trading is by knowing something and understanding it before the rest of the public does. Okay, so even though it's there and the information is out there that, hey, Ethereum Classic is going to stay on proof of work, right, and mining, and then the Ethereum is going to switch over to the proof of stake, right? Even though that information is there in the public, right, not everyone understands what that means. Not everyone knows. So there's a lot of newcomers that don't understand that, right? There's people like myself, like Adam, we've known this for a while. That's not new news. Right, so that's not new news. It's new news to the newcomers that just enter the space. So they may affect the price in the short term, and create a little small short-term volatility. But I don't think that that's going to be tremendous news or something. Like the news that Mt. Gox was selling $400 million worth of Bitcoins like a bunch of idiots, right? They should have gotten real traders like us to come and unload that for them.
Yeah,
right?
but if all the people running smart contracts on Ethereum start using Ethereum Classic instead, then the demand for that service increases, and then the price will increase. So it's not about
absolutely, absolutely, it will increase if that demand is there.
That's what Adam's saying, is that if Ethereum Classic becomes the main Ethereum because people start using it instead, then
yeah, and some of that is priced in. Some of that is priced in.
But some of it it can't be priced in, because if it was, then it would be the same value as Ethereum, if not more.
Yeah. I don't think it's all priced in. I don't think the knowledge of what is going on behind the scenes with Rocket Man Wu and these ASICs and Barry Silbert, I don't think everybody knows about this yet. And so it's not fully priced. I don't think people know about the catastrophe, the possible catastrophe that could happen here. This is the first time, Abe just talking about how they are legit. As a company that has a token, they're legitimately thinking about the possibilities. This is the first time I've heard about a company, mentioning this publicly. If more and more companies make this public that they're hedging their bets type of thing, there's going to be more people interested in buying Ethereum Classic. I don't think it's fully priced in yet, but I could be wrong. I'm a Bitcoin guy. So.
I've been a big supporter of Charles Hoskinson and his projects since the very beginning. A lot of people don't know that he was one of the original co-founders of Ethereum, and he was the one who helped get it launched. A lot of people forget that, and they discredit him, like CoinDesk is not writing about his Cardano project and things like that. So there's a lot of hate, jealousy going on in the cryptocurrency space, But I can tell you this, man, he's like one of the top cryptocurrency blockchain engineers on the planet, okay? Regardless what anyone says about that, So our team is a big supporter of him, and he gets it. He understands that the value of a cryptocurrency is behind its community and not just the technology alone. You got to have technology, but you also got to have a big community around it. And the fact that he gets that, right, is a huge, reason why we invest in him and all the projects that he does. You know what I'm saying? There's people that write him off because they're saying, oh, he's one of the original 8 co-founders of Ethereum that is not on Ethereum and he got kicked out or whatever. Make sure that you guys understand this. He got pushed out of the Ethereum project because he proposed that they have a nonprofit side to build the software and a for-profit side to market and integrate Ethereum for businesses. And they all were like, oh, let's try to change the world and all this other crap, all this airy-fairy theory crap, let's change the world, And then the minute they start running out of money, most people don't realize this, Ethereum almost went under and went to zero, okay? Until Microsoft just out of nowhere randomly announced that they were going to add them to the Azure network, okay? So that's their lucky break right there. Other than that, they would have run out of money and went broke, and they would have been nothing. And then Charles Hoskinson had the foresight and the business knowledge to see that was going to come, and he proposed a for-profit organization to help market Ethereum. Everybody was against it, and then after they left, they almost went out of business. And
Ty. You're giving the history of Ethereum here.
Why don't you write a book?
Wait, 1 second. 1 second here. I want to say one thing here. Ty mentioned how, he was one of the first dudes that said to buy Ethereum Classic, and he talked about the old days of 2016. If you guys don't remember those days when Ethereum Classic split, then you probably shouldn't be trading cryptocurrency. I will say that. I'm not a person to encourage anyone to trade cryptocurrency, but that wasn't too long ago, and that was a huge historical thing. A lot of people do not remember the day that Ethereum Classic was really born, and it was quite an adventure. That it was the summer of 2016, if I'm not mistaken. So I do like
the Brexit. I remember it very well.
I like Ty bringing up these historical things like that, but I want to put it in perspective so that everyone can understand why it is good to have lived through these things and to listen to guys who remember this stuff. Now, okay, we got to move it. Ty's going to talk some more here real quick, and we're gonna wrap this story. We're gonna wrap this show up because we've already over an hour. Talk about Be Private. People have asked you about Be Private. I haven't heard you talk about I haven't asked you about Be Private on the air for a very long time, or ever. So say what you want to say about Be Private.
Okay, so the biggest complaint or issue that everyone has about Bitcoin Private, which was a fork of Z Classic into Bitcoin. And the biggest problem that everyone's running into the community is that they're complaining why Bittrex is not listing Bitcoin Private. And everybody's blaming the Bitcoin Private team or community for not listing it on there. And they think that the team is being cheap and don't want to pay the listing fees or whatever. I can assure everyone that that's not the case. Okay, that's the first thing. It has nothing to do with funding. It has nothing to do with the cost of paying the listing fee, right? The second thing is that there's a lot of FUD and crap going out there about Roger Ver trying to block Bitcoin Private and all that. That's a bunch of crap, okay? There's no evidence that he is trying to block that, okay? And it's not like I'm taking up for him or anything, okay? But I have substantial evidence that he was trying to support the project and not trying to kill it, okay? And so that's personal and private confidential information, but that's not something, but I have more evidence that he is not trying to hurt it than I do have evidence of him trying to hurt it, okay? So that's a bunch of crap and a bunch of FUD, okay? So the main thing that's holding up Bitcoin Private from being listed on the exchange, okay, at Bittrex is for some reason, Julian, the CTO or whatever his role is, he's the one that makes the decision on what coin gets listed at Bittrex, and he is releasing FUD and misinformation and inaccurate information about why Bitcoin Private is not being listed. He's saying that it's because of reason X, Y, Z or whatever, and it's never because any of these reasons. Okay, because anything, the Bitcoin Private team has been very receptive to anybody that needs help implementing the wallet or anything like that. It has nothing to do with Bitcoin Private's team, okay, of why Bitcoin Private is not being listed on a major exchange. It has everything to do with Julian over there at Bittrex of why he decided not to list it. And my personal opinion of why he is choosing not to list Bitcoin Private at the exchange, all right, is that there's a concern that if they list it, then there will be other people that will try to do the same thing with Z Classic and fork it into Litecoin, Dogecoin, a bunch of other coins and disrupt their business over there. That's my personal opinion. That's not the opinion of Bitcoin Private team or anything like that. That's just my personal opinion that they saw how many people were involved in it, right? And how many people were interested in Z Classic and Bitcoin Private's fork more so than any of the other forks, outside of Bitcoin Cash. And that's what they have their concern is that they have to shut down wallets to implement all this stuff, and it disrupts their business because they make several $1 million a day. You know what I'm saying? When you make several $1 million a day, guys, as a business, you don't want people coming in and disrupting your business. And I think that that's the main reason.
Okay, they don't want to shut down their Bitcoin wallet. Obviously, they don't want to shut down their Litecoin wallet. Shutting down their Z Classic wallet, they lost money.
Yeah, it's not a big deal to shut down the Z Classic wallet because it's a smaller wallet compared to Bitcoin. But you also got to keep in mind there's a huge liability whenever they have all of a sudden somebody airdrops, Bitcoin Private into everyone's Z Classic and Bitcoin account, right? Now they become responsible for it. If something happens and they lose it, or there's a hack, or there's some issues where they implement the wallet incorrectly and they lose those tokens, there's a liability issue. So when you guys are out there and you're wondering why they won't list it, you got to understand all these different things that's going on behind the scenes.
Basically, you're saying if they listed it, it would be encouraging other people out there to all of a sudden do the same thing. Wait, one thing. You said to fork Z Classic into Litecoin. But what you meant to say was that other random coins on there could fork into other random coins.
But here's the thing. Here's the policy, guys. Okay, we've been making money in crypto for 5 years now. Okay, if there's an opportunity to make money in crypto, people are going to do it, and if it makes money, they're going to continue doing it until it stops making money. That's our investment thesis. They're going to do it with Z Classic and not the other coins because Rhett and his team. Here's the reason why, Meister.
Because you sounded like you're pumping Z Classic.
No, I'm not pumping Z Classic because it's easy because the work has already been done. The work has already. Why isn't someone going out there to fork, like say Monero or NXT or something? They're forking Bitcoin Because it's easier because the work has already been done.
No. But forking, you specifically said Z. What I'm gathering, we're kind of nitpicking here, but I think what you're trying, I would assume the people at Bittrex don't want this scenario to happen again like 50 times because it was hard enough to deal with. And if like XY coin is going to do it, ZZ coin is going to, they can't handle all these other coins.
Absolutely. That's my personal opinion of why.
So it's not necessarily that they're fearing specifically Z Classic is going to do it.
No, they are fearing Z Classic. Here's the reason why, okay? Because it was the first coin to be forked inwards into Bitcoin.
Okay.
So the work has already been done by the team to figure out all the technical stuff of how to do it. So if you were going to be going out there to try to fork inwards into another coin, why would you choose a coin that hasn't had work done on it? You go pick the coin the work has already been done, so it's less work for you to do.
I am not a technical expert on what was done and what wasn't done, or if it's easier to replicate it again on Z Classic than doing it with some other coin. I mean, there are other interests out there. I'm sure there's a lot of bag holders of other fifth-tier altcoins who would pay someone $1 million to do it to their coin if Bittrex was going to cover it, type of thing. So I mean, you're telling the truth. You're giving your. I guess you're not pumping Z Classic. You're not keeping the dream alive. It seems like you're keeping the dream alive for the Z Classic people. I don't want to put that out.
The dream alive for anybody. Okay. We're here. Hey, Adam, you already know why I'm here in crypto. I'm here to make money.
You are.
You look at it here and we analyze it. Okay, what is the easiest way for people to make money in crypto? Yes, can they fork Monero into Bitcoin or fork Monero into Zcash or something? Absolutely. Can they fork Cardano into these other coins? I'm sure somebody out there can figure it out. But it's easier because this has already been done.
Okay.
The work has already been done.
Ty is just giving some really. This is a good bit. I haven't heard this talked about Be Private and Bittrex in a while. This has been some good stuff. We're gonna wrap it up real soon. I want to see. Do you guys have anything to say about? I don't know. I don't think Abe cares about Z Classic and all that stuff, but. Josh, do you have anything to say about that whole all that stuff with the Be Private and Z Classic?
I just want to say this about some of the commentators on your comments. You know, I think that's a complete disrespect to your channel. You know, when they say all this derogatory stuff. You know,
I don't even look at.
No. I just want to say this, okay? If you guys think you're such a badass and such a tough guy, you know, and you think you're a real gangster out there, I grew up in the hood, man. If you guys want to say some crap about Bitcoin Meister, about Josh, about Abe, or about me, or anything like that, you know, suck this or suck that, you know, or any of these things, right? I invite you guys. I'm public about where I'm at all the time. Come and say that to my face. I've said this for 5 years, and I haven't had one person, right, one troll come up and say it to my face, you know. If you think that Bitcoin Meister sucks or I suck or anything like that, you know, or a scammer or whatever you think it is, I invite you. I'll be at the next Bitcoin Miami conference. I'll be there in full force. I'll have my crew there. They won't even jump in. You're welcome to always come.
And Ty, it's also funny, the guy who's saying those things, his initials actually.
Because I think that's completely disrespectful. When Adam takes the time to host this broadcast,
I don't even
provide value to the community. I challenge anyone, okay? Anybody. You think you're a fucking badass? Come see me at the Miami Bitcoin conference.
The curses. Guys. All right. Hang on. Ty, you're giving, first of all, many people are watching this show not live now, so they don't care. You know, ignore the trolls. I will say this, Ty, you're awesome. And by the way, Ty, I have said this about Ty. This dude, man, he came from some rough places, and he has built himself into this wealthy.
You see these things right here? You see these strong hands right here? They're not only strong for holding Bitcoin, man. These hands here are not meant just to hold strong hands for Bitcoins, man. These hands have been in some scuffles, okay? I've got my butt whipped before many times, and I've whipped some ass before many times. You want to talk crap, man? I'll be at the Miami Bitcoin conference. You don't have to worry about nobody jumping in one-on-one.
Now that would be an interesting.
Let me know.
This is great. We are getting into like
one thing you won't catch me do is backing down. I promise you that. Even after 3 heart attacks.
Troll
this is after 3 heart attacks. You won't catch me backing down.
This
you
is the
lousy trolls, you lousy lame trolls.
All right, time out, everybody. Time out. We're in the ghetto. We're in the ghetto of Bitcoin right now. But seriously, Tai Zen did. I mean, he's a fight. This dude has done some hardcore things, man. I would not challenge that dude to a fight. I mean, he's like an MMA type of fighter. I mean, it's like,
no,
dude,
I'm not an MMA fighter.
Yeah, but you fought in the streets.
In the hood, man.
You fought in the streets.
Nothing new to me, bro.
You fought in. I mean, you had a serious hand injury from a fight,
hey,
right?
You see this? Did you see this surgery here from having broken knuckles? Right. That didn't come there from mosquito bite.
Yeah. All right. So again, we're getting really testosterone filled here. Pound that like button, people. Josh, you were about to say something about be private, I think, or something before the Ty chimed in with the troll talk there.
Yeah, I mean, Ty's going to disagree, but that's fine. We can agree to disagree. Everything's a scam until proven otherwise. Everything's guilty until proven innocent in the crypto space. So, if it's a pre-mine and a fork, look at all the forks, all the altcoins. Yes, you can speculate. Yes, you can make money. This is completely separate from that. I could care less. The first thing you're talking about is getting listed on an exchange. And that's what all these want to do so that people can speculate. Like, it's not about the project. It's about getting listed on an exchange. Look at all these ICOs. All they want to do is get listed on an exchange. It's all the same crap, different day. That's all I got to say about that. But thanks for having me on. It's been fun. Abe and Ty, great meeting you.
Thank Josh. You've been man, your first time. It's been awesome. I want you to come back on this show, man. You got a unique perspective, and dude. But do you have any other conclusionary remarks? That was more so a comment on what Ty was saying. But any advice to anyone out there? Because we're on the conclusionary remarks part of the show now.
Sure, yeah. I mean, if you're looking at the chart, in my mind, it's like a toddler in a temper tantrum. You just got to let it do its thing. It's going to go to 4K, 3K, 2K, whatever it is. I don't think it's going to go that low, but whatever it does, you just have to let it do its thing and not be emotional, not panic, hold. I mean, that's not investment advice, but that's
strong hand, no emotions. Be emotionless. Very good. No, I like it. And Vention MGTOW, thank you for the $5 super chat. You've been given a lot in the super chat, dude. You rock, Vention.
Thanks for supporting this broadcast, man.
Yeah, Vention, you rock. All right, Abe, you said something about the initials. Something that I don't want to go back to the trolls, but you said the initials of the trolls. Something you were about to say.
Yeah, the guy who Ty was referring to, his initials are DH, and we all know what DH stands for, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I think just on my closing remarks. So I don't think Z Classic. I mean, some project may try and fork it again into Bitcoin, but the community is not going to support it. They've seen what's happened with the BTCP, so it's not going to get any support. So I think they're onto a loss if they did try and doing that. I still have some confidence the Bitcoin private project will be successful in the longer term, but I think Z Classic is done and dusted. Really, it's not going to be used again with anything of note.
Of course, I mean Z Classic is abandoned. I don't want anyone getting their hopes up about. Everyone said that was what if you bought into Be Private through Z Classic, you should have known that Z Classic was going to die afterwards, and that was like a given. But Abe, what are your conclusionary remarks?
My conclusion is, if you want to do good things with your Bitcoin, we're going to put it to work. Visit sunexchange.com and turn it into a solar panel, and it will power some amazing businesses and schools here in Africa.
All right, that's Abe, and again, his links are below there. Sun Exchange's links are below. All right, now it's time for Ty Zen's conclusionary remarks, and I just want to say, Ty, you have brought your energy, your style to this show. This show has gone long, it has gone wild, it has gone crazy, and it's mostly because of you and your antics. So, what are your conclusionary remarks here?
We're here to make money in crypto, and I'm sure most of the 99% of the people that I know of in crypto are here to make money in crypto. And I look at this, there's a Chinese, the Chinese symbol for crisis is made up of two words, right? The first word means danger, and the second word means opportunity, right? So the word crisis in Japanese means, during a time of danger, there's opportunity there. And for the people who are serious about crypto and they really understand why this is a revolutionary technology, this massive market crash is a massive buying opportunity and an opportunity to buy any of the cryptos that you may have wanted in the past. Like, I'm looking around to see which cryptos I want in my portfolio, right? And I'm looking for it. And now is the time that I go shopping for it. I don't buy when the price is running up to $20,000 or the market's at 800 billion market cap. I buy after it's crashed 60, 70, 80% when everybody is trying to sell. That's the time, as a trader, that's when a trader or an investor buys, when it's on sale, when it's cheap, when it's low cost. If you buy, the people that were complaining that Bitcoin was at 15,000 or 20,000, and they, in the back of their minds, they're thinking, oh, I should have bought Bitcoins at 5,000 or 7,000 or Ethereum at 500 or 600. And now the prices are in those areas, and now they're scared just because a bunch of people are whining and crying out there because they lost money, or that they might be that person. You don't see me crying. You don't see Adam Meister crying because we've been through this. I'll bet you that if Bitcoin Meister did not have any Bitcoins right now, he'd be scraping up every penny he has to get as much Bitcoins as he can, So my last words are, one is that if you're not a trader, do what Bitcoin Meister is doing, golden hold, strong hand, 2020, pound that like button. If you're a trader, then you should already know what to do. And I can promise you none of the traders are crying about this crash in the markets because it's an opportunity. They don't see it as a crisis. They see it or a time of danger. They see it as a time of opportunity. So I'm going to say take advantage of it. Don't let the markets go back up to 800 billion market cap again and sit there and go, oh man, I should have bought XYZ coin back when it was only, 2-3 months ago when the market crashed 60, 70, 80%.
Dude, Ty, that was a really good conclusion, actually. I like your closing statement a lot there, man. You really tied it all up. We had a blast today, everyone. It was a real good time.
Take advantage of this opportunity, guys. If you understand, like Josh and Adam was saying, if you guys understand the fundamentals of what makes a blockchain valuable on the market, then take advantage of the opportunities here.
All right, this is good, guys. I want to thank all my guests for being on the show today. They have mentioned some different links that we're going to try to share below this video. That it might take me a little time to add to it, so come back a little later. I hope everybody has a great holiday, whatever holiday you're celebrating or whatever. We hope you're with your family or with your friends or whatever. Remember, we do this Week in Bitcoin show every Friday. Pound that like button. I do a new show every single day. Not tomorrow, though, because it's one of my 1 days off of the year, because it's the second day of Passover. I'm getting ready for my Seder in a few hours. Everybody, remember, I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister. This is Meister. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video. Check out the notes section below. Bye-bye, everybody. See you next week or on Sunday. Bye. See ya.